Yeah, I wouldn't say partying. The music is still going, but obviously a much different vibe here. Not a ton of people behind me, but they are still waiting to hear from Winsome Earle-Sears tonight. Obviously not the outcome that they were looking for. They were hoping that she would become the first governor, first woman, female governor to lead Virginia, but obviously not the outcome, with CBS News calling that race in favor of Abigail Spanberger. I do want to mention something, and just a breakdown specifically about Loudoun County, where we are, right? Her campaign said that it was significant because they have done a lot of work here in Loudoun County. The issue of transgender bathroom policies in schools, we know that really centered around the school board in Loudoun County, but that is a location where Winsome Earle-Sears did not do well. Just 35% of the vote in the place that she held her election night headquarters. So just something to note there of importance. We heard Simone mention that this is a candidate who has really centered a lot of her campaign as a pro-Trump conservative, but the president never came out to endorse her. Again, never mentioning her by name specifically. He held a telethon for Republicans yesterday, but never specifically mentioned her name. And unfortunately, she had really been trailing in the polls consistently throughout this entire race, with Spanberger leading a lot of times by double digits. And so obviously we saw that outcome, again, not in Winsome Earle-Sears' favor. Something else that I want to mention, she really centered around the transgender policies in schools. Jay Jones, well, we know the economy is really what is important to voters, and we also saw how important this government shutdown is, the rare occurrence that is happening during an election. And something else to notice, we have to remember too that this government shutdown, this is happening now, 35 days, a history-making shutdown, but Virginians have been impacted by a lot of Trump policies for the last 11 months. Those DOGE cuts, federal employees, hundreds of thousands of federal employees in Virginia that have been impacted by the Trump administration. And so I think, Winsome Earle-Sears putting her support behind that administration obviously did not translate well for her campaign, and it really is significant for a lot of people here in Virginia. So just something to note there. Of course, the turnout was significant. Early voting, more than 1.4 million voters came out to cast their ballots early, and that is really just shows how significant what is at stake here, not just in Virginia, but on the national stage as well. So we are going to be waiting for Winsome Earle-Sears to come out here to address her supporters. Unclear exactly when that's going to happen, but we'll of course bring that to you live when it does, but obviously not the outcome or the turnout that her supporters were hoping for tonight.